Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of
Boo.
Boo Hot Dog Radio. It's a new we changed the name. Show is a little bit too generic, so we're spicing it up a little bit. Going back to our roots, we got I think we have NYCP in the title now. Not like New York Police something. It's not a police reference. It's not like a local police department. It's the Not Your
It's the
Cousins
coastal
podcast.
police. It's the coastal police.
It is, yeah, the coastal police.
Yeah, and now we have another four-letter acronym. Um, HDRH.
HDRH. It sounds like a chemical. Like it sounds like yeah, just some kind of chemical.
What kind of chemical?
You know what? I'm probably thinking it sounds like a HRT or something.
What's that?
I think it's hormone replacement something.
Therapy,
Therapy. Therapy.
but that's not a chemical.
You're right. That's a procedure. I guess I'm more so thinking the hormone is the chemical. I suppose like the chemical reaction. So maybe it's like
Yeah,
a procedure is what I'm thinking. It sounds like some kind of medical procedure.
HDRH. Yeah, there's NSDR, which is definitely a procedure having to do with rapid eye movement and healing traumatic experiences. So, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So see, it could be some kind of future medical procedure, and we're 3 steps ahead. You know?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we are 3 steps ahead. And maybe what's one step behind is a medical procedure using MDMA, which is another four-letter acronym.
That
Um,
it is. That
Also
it is.
related to NSDR in terms of healing traumatic experiences.
Very true. Yeah. There's if we're going because isn't that? Am I thinking of the right thing? That's like the drug, right?
What? What?
Oh,
What
maybe
do you
I'm.
mean?
Um.
It's like ecstasy.
Yeah. Yes, it is like the drug. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Because I was thinking then you got THC, then you got what's another LSD. You got there's probably a few more out there. There's probably some list.
CBD,
CBD,
DMT,
DMT. Yeah, that's true. DMT.
5-MeO DMT.
That one I haven't heard of. I've heard of DMT, not five. I don't know about the number part. I don't know. I don't know what
Well,
that is.
so it's like the chemical is almost exactly the same with a slight variation, and it's derived from this. I think it's somewhere in Central or South America. There's a special frog where they like squeeze the frog and this juice comes out of their pores,
Oh,
and then it's like kind of a poisonous frog, but then they smoke the goo that comes out, and that's this 5-MeO DMT.
oh, man, that sounds like that's got to taste bad. It's got to be kind of. How do they make regular DMT? Because is it all
In a
is it just
laboratory.
frog stuff? Is it all just from the frog? Like I did not know this. I didn't know it came from the frog.
Well, that's yeah. The regular DMT is made the same way that LSD is in a laboratory.
Okay, okay. But man, the original stuff, they just squeezing those frogs. Damn. I wonder who was the first there had to be some guy who first was like, I'm smoking this. Like
Yeah.
squeezed the frog and was like, "Oh, nasty. Oh, bro. Oh, put this in the pipe, man. I got to" and just started sucking it down and
Yeah, someone did that.
just had to try it.
Well, we always wonder what sort of inspiration caused these discoveries. Like one of the for ayahuasca, which is also dealing with DMT, but it's combined with another plant, and it makes it last like regular DMT trip is like 15 minutes, but an ayahuasca trip can take several hours, like 6 or 8 hours. And so the story around that is that there basically there was no reason why people would like combine these two plants together, and neither of them are active on their own, the ayahuasca and whatever this activating agent is. And so like that and many other sorts of things, we wonder what sort of inspiration caused people to do stuff that we seem to not have a rational reason for.
See, but for some reason, I don't know why this is, but smoking like a plant, right? Like whoever discovered like marijuana or anything like that, it's like, okay, like I can see maybe where your brain was going, right? Like something is like, already like you can light it on fire. Maybe even like you've accidentally inhaled some of it. You realize it has certain properties. But the frog goo, you have to grab the frog first, extract the goo, and then look at the goo and think, can I light this on fire and can I smoke it? Like you have to go there first. And that's what's fascinating to me is like I could get the plant, if someone was like, "Oh yeah, this is a plant. Is you can light it on fire and that's like take a little let's see what happens." But the frog goo, you have to take it another step and be like, this isn't even something that like is supposed to catch on fire. We're smoking it tonight.
Yeah, but like we got to introduce some historical context to this because at times in history, like people were put to death for being witches, and the occult, what is now called the occult, may have been more integrated into the culture, and like fortune tellers and what is it called? Shamanism, like at different stages in human cultures, like shamanism weaves in and out of like the main cultural dialogue or conversation. And so like these shaman dudes, like their job is kind of do the weird shit and then like tell everybody else about what happened. And so if they found this frog and like somebody might have like got the goo on their hand and like they felt kind of weird and like people might just start like doing that, and then there might be like the shaman dude was like, huh, like what if I smoked this shit, you know
Yeah.
it's that's the way I just laid that story out. That seems completely reasonable. That's a completely rational
True. I've got nothing. By the
issue.
by the way, I've got nothing against the guy who smoked the frog juice. Okay, I've got nothing against that guy. I'm just saying like you gotta like make multiple steps to get there. You know what I mean? Like your brain has to go there at some point. So I'm just saying like you gotta, yeah, the guy who first thought of it, he's gotta be like taking that leap. From like we're putting this on our body to let's put it in the pipe.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta see.
Yeah, a leap of faith, and perhaps his inspiration was of divine origin, you know, a divination, perhaps.
And I mean, he's discovered something. The like we don't even know who the first guy is who discovered that property. We really
No,
we don't know. The guy
we
just
don't
like
know.
he's not written down in history. Imagine
Perhaps.
I'd feel kind of slighted if I was like, I mean, like I went through. I'd be saying I went through this creative process, right? I smoked the frog like juices. I found this property, and no one's saying it's me who did it. I'd be kind of upset. I'd be looking down from a I don't know that I'd be thinking, you know, even though he's not around anymore. It's a long time ago, but still, I'd be thinking to myself, I'd be like, oh, maybe like, you know, you could just like maybe a nice like, you know, naming or something, like, you know, when people discover things, they name it after themselves. I'd be like, hey, it would be nice.
Why would you? Why do you? Why is it important to be recognized?
I think because like, you know, he put in the effort of like the frog juice. I'm thinking like, you know, he probably had to like imagine all the different frog juices he might have smoked before he got to that frog juice. I'm I'm just saying, you never know. This guy could have like slaved away, going in, extracting different juices from different frogs, and finally he found he found the juice that he was looking for that actually had some kind of chemical property to it. And now he's like, okay, guys,
But
anyone, you know, want
but
to
if he's
get him
dead,
in the
but if
history
he's
books?
dead, then why does it matter if he's recognized or not?
I don't know, cause like, you know, there's other chemicals where like even if it's not named after him, it's like, you know, written down in the history books where it's like, and this chemical compound was found by a man named John D's nuts or something, you know, in the book, and you're like, oh, John D's nuts, okay, interesting. This guy,
But who cares? I don't care.
yeah, okay, that's fair.
That's the standard practice of today's time. But like, is are human actions intended or like I don't think it's important for human actions to be intended to leave a legacy of name only.
Okay, you know,
So he left his legacy by discovering it.
okay, I know what you mean. I mean, I will say this. Eventually, people's names, like, you know, eventually you're not going to remember, like, we really don't know. The farther that times goes on, you know, like, people's names get forgotten all the time, right? They
Hmm.
get pushed far back. And generally, our conception exists, like, in a modern kind of framework where we just remember what happened in maybe the last, like, you know, maybe even, we don't even know all of history that has been documented, but
Couple thousand years though.
yeah, yeah. Still though, I think that like if that guy like even if it was just like, you know, one guy knew and was like, this guy, he found it. Or maybe is another theory. Maybe I wouldn't want people to know what I had to go through to find that frog juice
Why?
because maybe like the people around me who saw it were like, "Oh man, he's really every night he tried the tree frog last night. Did not want to see him after that. He was doing some disgusting things in the bathroom. It's really bad. We don't we don't even want to think about it. And so maybe he's just like, don't even mention me. All right? Imagine
You're
if the guy
saying
made a
like
point.
you're saying it's like this grueling sort of you're superimposing this scientific method on this what I'm proposing is a shaman. And I don't just imagine the intentional state of somebody who is smoking frog juice. Okay? I would argue that it's unlikely that they are in fact using the scientific method and categorically going through different frogs and smoking them. I think I think that that might have been the only juice he ever smoked off of a frog. You know?
Okay. It's possible. It is possible. That is true. It could have been the first frog juice that he smoked. I don't know though. It makes me think that like you never know. You never know. But you
Yeah,
know,
it's all speculation.
he might not even want to be recognized. We can't talk to the guy. We don't even know who he is. You know, but it'd be interesting. I want a story. I want a story behind like, you know, not that we'd be able to get like a first hand account, but like even if we knew a little bit something about his life, you know, I want to know the man behind the frog juice. is what I'm saying. You know, no matter how he discovered it, no matter how he found it.
Can you pull this up?
Who is this guy?
Can you pull it up?
Yeah, let's see.
Who discovered DMT? Maybe it does exist.
I All right. I think this is going to work. But I'm not quite sure. Okay. I think this is working. This should show up on the main screen. Oh, wait. Wait a second. What the hell? Okay, it is working. Our little like share screen thing actually does work. One second. There's gonna be some technical difficulties here. We haven't done this in a while. I thought this was broken. I thought like the OBS setup was completely destroyed. Hold on a second. This is actually good. How's this gonna look? Just close out of that. Okay, no, never mind. It doesn't. It actually doesn't work. Okay.
Yeah, I'll unshare.
Okay. Stop streaming. Unshare. Yeah, I think you'll have to go in.
Okay, close stream.
That worked for a moment. That sucks. Oh no, it has been like this for a while. 1 second. Let me try to switch it. No. Oh wait. Okay, no. This is
I can't do the share screen on this call.
Okay,
I can
1
only
second.
do it on the server.
Okay, that seemed to have worked. This is so weird because
It's fine, dude. I was hearing some feedback of my own voice when I was on your stream anyway. So that's another problem we'll have to fix at another time.
Okay. I didn't even know that worked. That's crazy. Wait, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm just looking on the internet.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm just surprised because I think it showed two versions of us down below for the whole entire recording. I don't quite know if it did, but I think it might have. It didn't do that last time. Last time, just the whole entire thing was broken. I don't know what's going on with OBS. I haven't updated it, but it shouldn't. I don't know. It's weird. Anything interesting?
I haven't seen anything about history yet.
Okay.
Intensity, synthesis. I don't know. All you really see about psychedelics nowadays are like trauma, and people get, there's like shadow banning, but then there's also just like Google shows like people that paid to have their shit show up first. And
yeah.
So I don't know. It's just talking about the studies and it's talking about the law and some guy, famous guy, Michael Pollan, who wrote about it. The history has less. It's less relevant to Google, at least.
Yeah, there was a documentary I watched on Netflix about like psychedelics and how like how it can be used in like therapy and stuff like that. And they talked about a little bit about the discoveries of some of them. I can't remember the name though. But it was interesting.
Can't remember the name of the documentary.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Is it on Netflix?
It is, yeah.
Sure they can find it.
Probably. How's your California Halloween going?
Good. It's starting to get a little chilly here. I had an assignment where me and four other people had to dress up as like one of these meridians, but it was like we dress up, but we don't tell people what we are, and then like people try to guess. So I was, this was my costume. It's just, I just had this like around my neck as like a necklace.
Nice. I
It's
don't know much
Gene.
about the Meridians.
This is Gene Simmons's mouth
Gene Simmons.
from Kiss.
Oh yeah. Oh, did you draw that?
Yeah, I drew that and I colored the tongue with crayon.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I like it.
that was my Halloween. How is it going over there?
It's going pretty good. You know what I realized? It's Halloween night, I guess now, but I've got like homework to do after this, right? So I realize I don't really have time to do much, unfortunately, on this Halloween. But I forgot. Like usually I'm not home on Halloween. I'm out doing something. Usually I'm just not home, right? I realized I don't have any candy here. I don't. So I'm afraid, like, I don't know if kids have showed up to my house in the past. Last year, when I was living here, I wasn't home, so that was fine. But this year, I've got to study. I've got a lot of work to do, so I have to be home. But I realized if anyone comes to my door, I have to pretend like I'm not here. In fact, my desk, because I told you about the size of my apartment, right? The desk is in such a way where right now you can probably hear my voice if you just put your ear up to the door. You could probably slightly hear me. So I'm like, oh, I like no one could TP my house because like it's an apartment, you know. Like good luck, you're just gonna screw over everyone here, all right? But still, I feel bad because like it's one of the things that you usually have. But I've never had to do it. I've never been home, you know. Either I was living at home, and while I was here living, going to college, I just haven't been home usually. And now I've got to worry about this thing, not having the candy. I didn't even think.
Yeah. Well, you can just put a sign out on your door that says "No candy. Get the fuck out of here."
Then they'll really be mad. You know, it's better if you're not home. At least before I had the excuse of like, oh, he's not home, right? Anyone can understand that you're not home, but I don't know if I'm home. If someone knows that I'm home,
you don't live in the most walkable area.
I don't. They are building a sidewalk outside though. I've noticed. I'm telling you. I know that's like a strange.
Less
like
walkable now. It's less walkable now because of the construction.
True, that's a good point. That's a good point. So I just got to be worried later, but I won't be here because I'm gonna graduate before the next Halloween. So this is actually perfect. This is great. This is good news.
You lucked out because of the construction.
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Lucky. Because this is a weird college town, right? Like, usually you think of college town, you're like, kids? You don't have any kids in that college town. What are you talking about? Here, it's like a mix. Like, it is a mix of, like, there's some families, not many, but there's some. You have, like, old retired people, and then you have college kids. It's almost like an equal distribution of each. It's really strange. And in the apartments where I'm living, there's even some families living here. I've looked around, and there's some families. It's like a lot of college students. It's mostly, I would say, maybe not mostly, but a good portion. But there's kids living here. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't even think about it. I'm like, no, Halloween. But I could rush out and get candy, but I just like I've got stuff to do, and I was thinking about getting some candy for myself too. Like, it feels weird not having it on like Halloween. Like, I was like, oh, it just completely passed me by. I did my Halloween festivities on the weekend because a Tuesday I'm not doing it on a Tuesday. I'm busy right now. I got a lot of stuff to do. So I did it on the weekend, and then I just didn't even think. I even thought to myself, I was like, I'll get it on Monday. Monday will be a good day to get it. Didn't get it on Monday, so.
You could go trick or treating yourself and get like 3 pieces of candy, and then like have those just in case somebody comes.
Can you imagine me though? Going trick or treating, they're gonna be like, we know this guy. He's in college. We know this guy's in college, and not to mention the fact, I think. See, I feel bad for kids living in this town because most, like, even in my apartment, I would say half are about college students, right? If you go to those doors, you know that most college students probably, well, maybe some of them have candy on hand. Maybe I'm just maybe I'm the problem here. Maybe I didn't know, but maybe other people do keep candy on them. But I feel like a lot wouldn't maybe even be home cuz I wasn't last year, so I don't know. I don't know. What you making there?
Vitamins.
Vitamins. Oh, dropped one. What was the stuff you were doing a little mix in there? I like that angle. That was like felt like it had some film qualities. You know it like in scenes where they get up in the morning and they go to like make their drink or their coffee or something. It had that kind of yeah. That had some like some film quality to it. I liked it. I liked it.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
This this is called the Ruby Meds,
Ah.
and
Ruby
basically
Med.
this you know homeopathic medicine.
Yeah.
You do.
I think so at least.
What is that?
I'm pretty sure it's like naturopath stuff, right? It's like natural like supplements and things like that. Right? No. Okay.
So naturopathic medicine is different from homeopathic medicine. You know what the root? I think the root is homo, meaning self.
Um
So
I've heard like hetero meaning the same, homo meaning the same, hetero meaning different. I think.
so yeah, homeopathic, pathic meaning pathology, meaning dysfunction. Um, there's also like allopathic medicine, which is like what medical doctors do. Um, and then there's naturopathic medicine, right? So there's all these pathic medicines, but there was there was this guy in the 1800s, and maybe he was a little bit like this shaman kind of character that we've been describing up until this point, who's smoking frogs. But most people in medicine, like they like see that there's like this pathology, right? And then we're trying to like um, the pathology might be like a key, and we're trying to like fit the solution into we're trying to fit the solution, the key into the lock so we can unlock it and make it disappear. This dude, what he did instead was his philosophy is like cures like. So homo meaning self, meaning if you have a stinging nettle problem, what he's gonna do is he's gonna make a distillation of stinging nettle that's very, 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 very subtle, and he's gonna feed it to your body so it can alert your body that like this foreign substance is there and that it needs to like create a proper response to it.
Okay.
And that's what homeopathy is. It's like cures like.
You know, even in that made me think of even how with vaccinations, what they do is they synthesize a small amount of the virus. So when it goes into your body, you develop antibodies to fight it. It almost kind of seems like a very similar notion where, yeah, a small amount of the thing that you're trying to protect against, you know, maybe a little bit different, but kind of like a light cures like situation where maybe you don't have it necessarily already, but you're trying to prevent getting that same thing by introducing a small amount of it into your system.
Yeah. So you're saying I definitely see that that correlation. What I would say is vaccines are a prophylactic, meaning that it is used as prevention, as you said, and the homeopathic remedies are used after whatever sort of pathology has presented itself. So it's different in that way, and then also the mechanism of delivery is like vastly different, maybe even diametrically opposed, because what they're doing is like they're determining this is the problem, and we're gonna this for the vaccines. This is the problem, so we're gonna give you a dead version of this, so your body can like make the antibodies that are required. But over here in homeopathic medicine, in this distillation process, like they'll put like a gallon of water and they'll like put stinging nettles in it, right? And so the stinging nettle essence will float out into the water. And then what they'll do is they'll put one drop of water from that whole gallon and they'll drop one drop into a fresh gallon of water. So now it's like a incredible reduction of like um, the stinging nettle essence, but then they give you that very small reduction just as like a subtle nudge to your system, almost as if it was imperceptible. It's like a really small nudge instead of like a bit of information for your body to code something when speaking of the vaccines.
Okay. Hmm. This
So I
guy.
yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
go. No,
Oh,
my question is it's not that it's not that profound. It was just like who the guy is because like he was in the 1800s. So I'm curious. Like, did he also like not did he go unnoticed or did he
no, he's the guy that when they have homeopathic schools around the country and in Canada and in Europe, they're all teaching his stuff.
Okay, so he's a known guy. He's
Yeah,
known.
I
Okay.
just because he's a pioneer and it's like still considered alternative medicine in today's lexicon.
Okay. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so like that's homeopathic medicine, right? And then there's like a bunch of little subtle factions of that. And so that's what these are, these Ruby meds. And this is based on this idea of emotional conflicts. And so like you and I have gone to like Dr. O and like he has like these this muscle testing and these vials um checking for a plethora of things including emotional disturbances or traumatic events, blocked emotions, etc. And so um basically this system is you have the seven chakras, okay, and each chakra has like a list of like I don't know, like 3 to 5 different like blocked emotions that can be associated with it. So are you following this?
I am. I'm following it.
Okay, so we got this guy. He has the light cures like. It's a distillation, 1 gallon, one drop into another gallon. It's subtly hinting to your body that, hey, we have this thing. Maybe we need to pay attention to it. And so then we have this, which is the Ruby meds with emotional conflicts. And specifically, there's a few conflicts for each chakra. There's a way of testing that, um, often through muscle testing or through just, you know, having a conversation with the person you're diagnosing. And then what you'll come up with is 2 bottles, and you'll take it for a variation of a different amounts of lengths. But one bottle you'll see this one is called Chativa 3. So one bottle you'll take is just the chakra itself. This is for just like unblocking the third chakra, okay? Chativa 3. And then within this the third chakra, then there's like the four conflicts that could be associated with it. And so then I was tested for this is chakra 3, but this is conflict number 10. Okay? So you take them in concert with one another. And they've got what's in these is much more complicated than I can explain than the stinging nettle example. But you know, this is crazy scientific exploration into like if we're talking of like cures like, let's say there was like this blocked emotion regarding like um can't unable to um closed off to others in conversation, not letting anybody in emotionally. That could be a conflict. How did they figure out that there's these certain substances that is like the like curing like there? I have no idea. I just know that I take the Ruby meds and I like them.
Is this like is this some of also what you're learning about in your school too?
No.
No, okay, okay. So this is like this is someone who you saw who's down there in California then.
No, dude, I've been taking these for like 5 years.
Damn, okay. Was that
Not
Dr. O or
not
was that somebody
not
else?
not 3 and 10. No. Um my counselor also tests for them.
Okay, nice.
Uh,
Nice.
yeah, and yeah, I haven't been on this like certain set. You get like a certain set for like 2 months or 4 months, and then you like retest.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that's just a floss pick.
No, you see what this is this is the beacon for an alien spaceship to come down. And what do they call it? They call it uh Ansible.
Ansible.
It's an Ansible. It's a beacon. It's a incredible when you put it in between your teeth, it sends out a signal um through quantum physics.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know, isn't it?
What about you? Are you worried about the trick or treaters coming to your house? Like, do you have candy like set up for them, or are you risking it as well?
Well, I live on a hill, and also my front door is not immediately accessible to the public.
I like I like that I like that I live on a I like that I live on a hill. Like you mount the defense. Like you have the strategic high ground. Like I've got the construction going on outside. The sidewalk hasn't been built yet, but you've got the high ground, so you can like you got the way to defend off those trick or treaters from up there.
That's how you took it. I was just saying like they don't want to the kids don't want to walk up the hill, to get here.
I'm
So they're gonna
I'm
choose a flat neighborhood to walk around.
I'm just imagining the like a battle scenario. I don't know why I'm imagining like me.
Dude, I could pick off hundreds of kids through just this window right here next to me.
See, I don't have many windows, which is actually kind of a good thing because no one, like, I live up, like, there's, like, a window there, and there's a window, like, in my room. It's a very, like, strange kind of, like, layout, but I'm, like, tucked to, like, the side. And, like, I can see, like, this, like, courtyard area, but other than that, I'm kind of a little bit insulated. Like, I've got, like, a tree outside, and I don't think anyone's going to know that I'm home. Unless they try to, like, correlate where my window is and be like, the light's on, and then go around to the door and try to find. They'd have to do some mental calculus, which is good, because I don't think any kids are going to be doing mental calculus. But if so, there's only one door in or out of this place, all right? Let me just say
Yeah.
that.
Well, if these kids are trick or treating, I'm hoping they're too young to be doing any form of calculus.
I would hope not. I would hope not. I'm hoping that sidewalk too under construction. I mean, I think my theory is that parents know that like there's so many college students living in this apartment complex. I think they know. They're like, we got to go to a different neighborhood. I think they know. That's my guess.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out. You could just put on your beanie and then you could be like, you could be Tim Pool again.
I
And
you
then
know I could.
That's how you could get the candy from your neighbors, just as a reserves.
Be like, I'm playing Tim Pool, everyone, and they'd probably, I don't think they'd give me anything. I think they'd be like, oh, gross, get out of here, dude, and they'd like be like, oh man. But let me tell you about my logical argument for in my face, and I'd be like, oh man, that sucks, dude. But I could even do the Ben Shapiro facts don't care about your feelings, and as I'm about to finish, it just slams in my face. I don't think I'd get too far. I really don't think I don't think I would.
Yeah, just a couple people that just make a living by talking.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't think they'd be too popular. I think like you go to most there might be like there'd be a few who like live online and they'd be like Ben Shapiro, he's my favorite. I love hearing him talk about how Disney's making my kids gay, and then he might give you some candy, but he'd have the worst candy. All right, he'd give you like an almond joy or something. I don't know what's worse. Actually, I kind of
that's
like
hard with
almond
candy.
joys. Actually,
Really?
actually not too bad. That'd have
Were
to be
you just
something
trying?
worse.
Were you just trying to be relatable?
For a moment, yeah, I was like almond joy. Like it was like when I was a kid, the worst candy. But I think it's not. It's still not my favorite. Like you can't replace that with like a Twix. Like if someone was like, "Here's an almond joy," on Halloween, I'd still be disappointed till this day. If I could go trick or treating, but I don't. I'd eat it. That's the thing. I would eat it. I don't know what that says
Yeah.
about me, but I would eat it.
So you just need a costume where they can't see your face.
Then they might think I'm a little kid. Yeah. Last year
Or a
I
big
was,
kid.
or a big kid. Yeah. Oh
A
yeah,
tall
that's
kid.
true. I would have to be a big kid. I guess I would. I'd have to be like extremely tall for my age. I was the Pope last year. I have a Pope costume in there.
You were the Pope.
I was the Pope. Mm-hmm.
Were you the Silver Pope?
No, I was a little tipsy Pope last year. A little bit of a tipsy Pope, just a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. The holy water wasn't necessarily the holiest of water, if you know what I mean. I feel like that's kind of like I like it because of the joke, the antithesis of like, oh, the Pope, God, like it's like we got to get out of here.
Are you saying that because you were actually drunk?
Well, no, just because like like ooh, like like kind of a joke of like ooh, religion, spooky, like maybe a little bit like some people would be like, oh God. Some people got the joke. They were even like, God bless Pope, God bless, and I was like, God bless.
Were you just carrying around like a bottle of wine, or how are you the tipsy Pope?
Well, I didn't actually. That would have been good. I should have carried around a bottle of wine, but we were at one point going around downtown visiting different bars, and I didn't want to like. I didn't want like if there was like a cop who was like, hey, like you can't carry around open alcohol, and it kind of would have that would have ruined the night and the bit, you know. But if I was just at a
So the
party, that would be great. If I just came around with wine and I was just like, oh, blood of Christ.
so, so the yeah so the bit was that you just were at a bar and you were dressed as the Pope.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of was. It just was like, yeah. I guess it was just the Pope in an environment where he shouldn't be in, and the statement of like maybe some people I think it's funny when like oh it's like you're supposed to be something spooky on Halloween. The Pope, it's frightening, terrifying.
Yeah. Well, Emperor Palpatine. And did you have a head accoutrement?
I did. I had the whole headpiece. I had the robes.
Do you have a picture of that?
Uh, I might somewhere, not on this phone, because it's new. But somewhere in my closet, I do have I do have it. I do have the whole thing.
Nice. I was Mike Tyson.
I
Last year.
remember. I remember. Yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing about that.
Yeah. I was in on Halloween I was in a very special mood. And so I was Mike Tyson and everybody else was like just regular shit, like Mario or like a cowboy, you know, just what people regular costumes. Um knights and but like I had like the hand wraps and I had the tattoo and in like every photo I was just like flipping off the camera. I was at the party with my parents and like actually your mom and um and just I was just flipping out the camera. I got some comments that I was ruining the photos. Um but hey man, I was like the only person in my 20s there, so what am I to do but to
True.
flip off the camera and yeah, dude, the middle finger has some interesting qualities.
Other than the use of like of being like hey fuck you, like like on the street or someone to like someone cuts someone off or something.
Yeah, well, it's the longest finger.
Oh, okay,
Um,
yeah.
you can't put up a peace sign without the middle finger, which is interesting.
True. Yeah, I guess that's not the same. You couldn't like.
That's not a peace sign.
Yeah,
So
true. It has to be.
I don't know if
Mm.
Big Sean, the rapper, came up with this, but it's one of his lyrics. But the whole idea is that like whatever this energy is of this middle finger, fuck you, anger, uh, coming outward, towards, um, in order to have peace, like that isn't necessarily like absent. The it's just met equally by the other side. Um, I don't know if that made any sense. But
I
flipping it off in like Reiki traditions, you have this thing called your hara line, which is basically like this giant plus sign that goes from like uh your perineum, which is like your gooch, and it goes up your spine to the top of your head, but it's also like a cross shape, so it also goes down your arm, and it's kind of like your seat of intention. It's like this blue sort of like cross running through your body, and it's intimately engaged with um, your sense of self and your life's mission. and that horror line runs through the top of the head, and then but it also runs through the middle of the hand and out the middle fingers.
Okay. Huh.
So this incredible power of intention and identity is running out through that middle finger. So
So it can have maybe a different meaning when someone and someone like
yeah, especially dude, I haven't seen a lot of people do what you just did.
oh,
They
with
kind
like
of
the
just
the
put,
thumbs like a little bit more out like
but no, because you were just putting them so close together. Like, usually it's just like you just flip off one like this,
yeah, yeah.
but it's really, really harsh doing this.
That is extra
What you
powerful.
just did.
Yeah. If you're like, especially if someone's like, I always think of whenever I think of the middle finger and someone like, hey, fuck you. Like, I think of a New Yorker. I think of like someone in traffic and like gets cut off. Like, if someone does double in traffic while he's like got the wheel and does like a two, he's extra mad because he's willing to risk his life just to send that double message to you.
Yeah.
Uh, in Germany, it's actually it's this. This is like as bad as that's like the worst like sign you can make to someone because it's basically saying like you're insane. Like I think there
Yeah,
was a
you're a
moment
psycho.
where people got fined if they did this. Like they said you can't do this anymore while you're driving because people would get really mad and they'd go like and try to tailgate people on the autobahn. But on the autobahn you can go as fast as you want. So it's like extra dangerous. So I think they started saying you can't do this because they were like, "Oh, it really makes people mad." And that's just so weird.
Yeah. The different cultures just assign meanings to
Yeah.
the gestures.
All right. I'm thinking I unfortunately have some homework and a test to study for. Or what do you say we wrap up the Halloween special?
Yeah, that sounds good. Um, have you posted any the last two episodes at all?
I have not posted them yet. I've been extremely behind. Um, I'm thinking we should that's set a day. We'll set a day in this episode, and then from now on you can regularly expect them on those days. I had the first one. I was trying to fix the audio because I was gonna pull it into Pro Tools, and sometimes if you turn it into mono and then back into stereo, it fixes like. Do you know what I mean? Like a mono track will then become stereo. You can like convert it. I was gonna try that, even though yours is stereo, mine is like just one side for some reason. I was gonna see if I could fix it that way, but I'm kind of thinking it's the first time we're back. I should just post it. Oh, then I can get on to the second one. Yeah, I'm just gonna
And the
post
second
it.
was the second one like that also?
No, it wasn't. That's when we fixed it. We fixed it at that
Okay.
point. Yeah.
Yeah. Just keep going.
All right, I'll just post it.
Cool.
So what day are we? Maybe we could do like Tuesdays, I guess, and always be like one behind. But then we film on Tuesday. Maybe I'll try to I'll play catch up. Maybe like usually on Fridays, and I'll do something like Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday first episode, Friday second episode, and then next week of the Friday it'll be the third episode, and we'll keep going on that trend.
So just being one behind. So like once we get up to speed, it'll be film on Tuesday and out by Friday, or will the Friday be the one from the week before?
Um, I guess the one from the week before actually. That's a good idea. Just in case anything goes wrong, or maybe we want to like make room for like some editing time if we ever decide to change anything up, or I can find some time to put some edits in. Then we have some time to do that.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
All right, I like it.
Okay. Thanks for watching the Hot Dog Radio Hour. This
Yes.
one was actually about an hour, so um congratulations. And if you have any questions about any of this stuff, just leave a comment. And
Be careful of the trick or treaters.